We have reached an agreement on a 90-day pause and substantially moved down the tariff levels. Both sides on the reciprocal tariffs will move their tariffs down 115%.
Donald J. Trump, after negotiations between his trade team and China's, has just agreed to a 90-day pause in the trade war, lowering his tariffs on China by a whopping 115 percentage points, with the Chinese agreeing to do the same in return. That would leave US tariffs on Chinese imports at 30% from 145%, and Chinese tariffs on US imports at 10% from 125%. Now, some losers who don't understand chess with all the Ds might call this a capitulation. I mean, effectively, the whole reciprocal tariff plan has now been shelved for at least 90 days. He couldn't even fight a full-on trade war with his mortal enemy, China. And I don't usually do this, but this time, please humor me, as I say that in no way, shape, or form was this capitulation unexpected, considering I kept predicting it over and over again. But I mean, he's already pulling back on China because he has to. You gotta do it at least in a staggered way. We've talked about this a lot, I mean, it's gonna hit the economy really hard in an already inflationary environment. It's not gonna work out. He's gonna have to pull back. I mean, to what extent we'll have to see.
Just to finish, we also have a situation because everyone says, when are you going to sign deals? We don't have to sign deals.
Oh, you do, you demented McNugget, and even the bullshit act won't cut it this time. The markets are, of course, shitting their pants with happiness over this, with the S&P 500 recovering all losses from Liberation Day, the dollar recovering 1.2% against a basket of other currencies, etc., etc., which leaves us to the universal 10% tariff plan Donald and his team seem to have settled on after, being artistic.
I'm a very artistic person.
Now, that is still a substantial tariff, especially when applied universally on every other country in the world and not on a specific sector or product. But of course, it's a far cry from the complete meltdown that would have ensued if Donny had kept to his reciprocal tariff plan, aka stupidest plan ever conceived by a very stable genius. I mean, what the fuck? We're not even fighting China?
We've identified 5 or 6 strategic industries and supply chain vulnerabilities, and we will continue moving toward U.S. independence or reliable supplies from allies on those. But the consensus from both delegations this weekend is neither side wants a decoupling.
What are we even fighting for?
The best part of the deal was that we opened up China. China agreed to open itself up to American business to go in. And the bottom line is that they canceled it the last day. We were all set to sign it. And then I went a little bit angry. I got a little angry. I said, they canceled the deal. The deal was done. It was all ready to be signed. And people went over, they came back to me, sir, they don't want to sign the opening up China. Well, the biggest thing that we're discussing is the opening up China, and they've agreed to do that.
Yes, Chief, their markets are open provided you play by their rules. But if we're still negotiating, then why did you hit the pause button? Makes you look kinda weak. Like your heart wasn't really in it, the most beautiful tariff plan ever conceived by man. I mean, dude, people believed in that. They went to the rallies. They bought the merch. And now he folds before the dance had even really started, which really makes me curious to see Trump play poker. All in, no, fold. So why did he fold even on China? Because uncoupling the two biggest economies in the world by jacking up tariffs to astronomical levels is one of the surest ways to induce a fucking recession. And so he yielded. And everyone and his mom knows he yielded, which kinda erodes the leverage a little bit, don't you think? Unless you expect that people believe you want to see the S&P start shitting out of all its orifices again, which I will grant you cannot entirely be ruled out. But Trump folds, major economic crisis averted for now. So before I go, Trump also announced.
But starting today, the United States will no longer subsidize the health care of foreign countries, which is what we were doing. We're subsidizing others' health care. Countries where they paid a small fraction of what, for the same drug, that what we pay many, many times more for.
No, that's not what you were doing, you demented asshole. The fact that you allowed pharmaceutical companies to charge you more for the same drugs because you, as the government, refused to provide universal drug coverage and thus negotiate drug prices collectively as the state does not mean you fucking subsidized anybody. It just means you literally let them rob you blind. And yes, I agree and commend his executive order to lower drug prices, even though he already knows it will get struck down in court. Of course, he then implies he's adding this to his mega bill, but this is what the Republicans are currently cooking regarding that bill.
And he called me up and he said, President, he calls me, he used to call me Donald, now he calls me President, so that's nice respect. But he's a rough guy, smart guy, very successful, very rich. I wouldn't even know how we would know this, but because he's got comments. President, could I ask you a question? What? I'm in London, and I just paid for this damn fat drug I take. I said, it's not working. I think that was a very nice gesture. Now, I could be a stupid person and say, oh, no, we don't want a free plane. We give free things out. We'll take one, too. And it helps us out because, again, we're talking about we have 40-year-old aircraft. The money we spend, the maintenance we spend on those planes to keep them tippy-top is astronomical. You wouldn't even believe it. So I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it very much. I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane.
Notice how stupid person is used instead of person with principles, which leads us to the final bit. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. And if you have, let me please ask that you like and subscribe to the show. See you soon.